Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we would like to welcome you to today's show. And on the agenda is near-death experiences and divine enlightenment. And John's going to tell us more about it.
Yes, we've got all that and more as well. This is going to be an exciting program, and it's been a few weeks now since we've done the live, and it's been several months since we've done YouTube live. So, hoping that we go gremlin free for the broadcast, and we shall see how that all plays out. But yeah, today is and thank you to everybody who's been sending birthday wishes today because today is my birthday, and yeah, 65.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Jolé. Yeah, and so 60 years ago, this was me. Okay,
Oh.
see that? My dad sent me that today in a birthday card. I've still got the Speedos. Decided not to wear them today. I didn't want to show off. It's a fun time. So today's show is very much around some really strong messaging that came through originally while I was over in Austria. I got a message from one of our communities sending me a link to this particular video, which is a near-death experience from a lady called Miriam. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, yeah, that's a divine connection right there. I mean, I'm very, very grateful to our member of the community who wished to remain anonymous, so we will honor that. Nevertheless, it is, with much gratitude that we have that because it really set the scene. And it's been really interesting because various things unfolded beyond that, which also really fell into place and were completely on message. One of them was when Viola Rose reached out from Sedona. It was Viola who did my Illuminating the Heart workshop, which is the Drunvalo Melchizedek training. And she said that she'd recently had the opportunity to meet up with Drunvalo and actually do an interview, which she's posted on her YouTube channel. So I've taken a little brief extract of that as well, because that's really fascinating. And it ties in very much with the message that comes through the NDE, and it also ties in then with the message that comes from the Galactic Federation, from Riva of the Pleiadean Council. So, yeah, we got a lot going on, and we're not going to delay too long. But, Jolé, what would you care to add?
Just that this show, like you say, put on your cranium retention helmet because this show is definitely going to rock the cranium. So I'm really excited with what we have in store. It's a nice and tight show, and hopefully you guys will find some enlightenment and things will resonate.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be information packed, and yes, strap on. Make sure that the chin strap underneath your cranial retention helmet is well and truly fastened because this will be mind blowing, and we hope you love it. So, anyway, without further ado, we're going to dive into the first section. Bear with me a second.
My name is Miriam Eliana Rosen. On April 14, 2023, I died while giving birth to my first child at Beth Israel Medical Center in Manhattan. I grew up in a traditional Jewish household in Teaneck, New Jersey, kosher kitchen, Hebrew school every Sunday, and family dinners every Friday night. I was a middle school history teacher, and my husband David and I had been married for just over 4 years. We had just moved into a little townhouse, filled it with books and baby clothes, and we were so excited to start our family. But during labor, everything unraveled. I hemorrhaged suddenly, and despite every effort from the doctors, I flatlined. I remember the exact moment my body gave out. First came an unbearable pressure in my chest. Then the noise of the room began to fade until there was nothing. No pain, no panic. I floated above the bed and watched everything as if I were watching a play. The nurses yelling, David shouting my name, and my blood spreading across the sheets. I should have been terrified, but I wasn't. There was this strange, still quiet, like the world had taken a breath and just held it. And then, just as suddenly, I felt myself being pulled, not up, not down, but through something. It felt like a curtain being swept aside, and on the other side was light, brighter than anything I'd ever seen, but not blinding, not painful. It felt like home. And then I saw him. Standing in front of me was someone I never, ever expected. Jesus. He didn't look like the man I'd seen in stained glass windows or Renaissance paintings. He looked at me with eyes so full of understanding and love that I instantly felt bare, like he knew every thought I'd ever had. I wanted to speak but didn't need to. Somehow he heard me anyway. But I'm Jewish, I thought. He smiled, soft and kind, and said, I know who you are, Miriam. I've always known. That sentence, it broke something in me. All the religious confusion, the doubts, the inherited fears, it just dissolved in his presence. He began to show me things, truths I never knew I needed to hear. He told me that no one group had it all right, that over the centuries, every religion had warped parts of his message. They used my name for control, he said, not love. His words weren't angry, just heavy with sorrow. I asked him about Judaism, about why my people had suffered so much, about the Holocaust. His eyes filled with grief. So much pain done in my name by those who never knew me, he said. I felt my spirit tremble, not from fear, but from the weight of a truth too big to ignore. Then he showed me something that I still have trouble explaining. We were no longer just standing in that place of light. We were moving, but not with steps. It was like thought carried us from one place to another. Suddenly, I was looking down at Jerusalem, but not the way I remembered it from photos or stories. It felt different, almost like I was watching a future version of the city. I saw violence. Missiles flying, buildings crumbling, people screaming and running in fear. My heart ached at the sight of it, but then, without warning, the chaos gave way to peace. I saw people embracing, praying together, and children playing in the same streets that had just been torn by war. I looked at Jesus, confused. What is this? I asked. He said, this is what's coming. But not in the way people expect. I asked him about Israel, about its leaders, about what he thought of them. And I'll never forget what he said. The heart of Israel has strayed. They've looked to politics for salvation when they should have looked to me. Your leaders mean well, but they are led by pride, not purpose. He spoke about Benjamin Netanyahu, saying he believed he was protecting his people, but he was being driven more by fear and control than by divine wisdom. That hit me hard. I had grown up being told to support our leaders, to never question. But now, Jesus was asking me to see with new eyes. Then he showed me something else, something that honestly made me want to laugh out loud. I saw Donald Trump standing beside Israeli and Arab leaders, signing some kind of peace agreement. I looked at Jesus and said, seriously? And he nodded. Many mock this man, and rightly so in some ways, he said. But I can use anyone, even someone flawed. Sometimes, especially someone flawed. I couldn't believe it. Jesus told me that Trump would have a second term, and that during that time, he would be part of something historic. Not because he understood God's plan, but because he was willing to break rules others wouldn't. It wasn't an endorsement. It was a reminder that God's plans don't always fit into the boxes we create.
Life really is like a play. We are the actors who are here to fulfill our role and our journey to soul growth. Miriam's NDE is very interesting on a number of counts. There is little mystery to those of us on the awakening journey that we can never truly die because we are immortal spirits having a human experience. And what a time it is to be here. And occasionally someone will pass on, but then miraculously return with a message for humanity. I believe many of these things are woven into our pre-birth life plan contracts, enabling those who hear the message to choose to remember we are so much more than the programming and conditioning of life has entrained us to be, although I completely honor that many will see it as a weird fantasy. But either way, the seeds have been planted that may germinate on a future date as events unfold that match the prophecy. One of the reasons that a valued member of our community forwarded Miriam's story to me was that it validated the work that Elevated Planet have been sharing for the last few months. We've had several focuses on Jesus, or Yeshua ben Joseph, of course. I love Elizabeth April's description of Jesus from our Christmas show as an incredible being of divine light who is able to reach as many people as required all at the same time, reinforcing the message of Christ consciousness that lay within each of us, awaiting activation, care of our free will. This is not about religion. It is about releasing the dogma that religion has given us and stepping back into our sovereignty, where we no longer feel we need a middleman to reach God. Jesus was, to my mind, never intended to be treated as a deity. He was an example. He was the way, showing us how to live from the heart, understanding that we are connected to everything and to live our life accordingly. And now, of course, on to Donald Trump and being mindful that this NDE took place in 2023. This aligns with what we have said about him since November. Donald's sole contract is to be a disruptor, which is in turn accelerating change on the planet. Even his flawed persona is a mask that hides what is really going on here. Our galactic chums have told us as much, as is Jesus here in Miriam's NDE story. And it makes sense that someone who comes across as flawed as he is might just have an easier way of cutting through the rulebook that does not serve humanity's highest good. There is a divine purpose that sits behind this, and this suggests that Donald Trump really is a highly evolved soul once you cut your way through the facade. And it's interesting that in the last few days, Donald has established a new relationship with the Saudis that will undoubtedly prove to be a building block that drives us in the direction of building that bridge to ending what appears to be an insurmountable conflict. And when you imagine that this peace agreement would have to take place within his presidency, this really is quite near term given the amount of ground that has to be covered to get everyone to agree. Time will of course tell, so let's see how the story unfolds in the months and years ahead, but I for one feel very hopeful regardless of any new near-term conflict that may appear. So Jolé, what would you care to add?
Wow, John, you really broke that down. It was a very interesting take. And I can say that I agree with you on some levels. But let's be real. Donald Trump and his energies coming through as very demonic and weird, to say the least, and very divisive. So if this is what it takes to sort of change things, I would ask my fellow man to really think about how they are behaving and how they are, what energy they're putting out in the earth, because obviously we must have called this energy in. Some way, shape, or form, humanity decided that we needed this at this time, and this is what's here. So if we want to change that in any way, it always starts with us. It starts with us recognizing who we are and knowing how our soul architecture works, moving the middleman out between us and God, because that's what causes us to be deceived, and really having our own relationship with the divine, Mother Earth, one another, right? So I really believe that, yes, John, I am right in alignment with you when you talk about his unprecedentedness, and also maybe this is the lightning rod that we need to start the ball rolling for change, to move us to unspeakable beauty. But at this iteration in the present moment, it is looking quite ugly. So I would say that is something that we can't really infiltrate that right now, at least some of us that are at the lower levels of this game. Yeah. However, what we can do is try and change ourselves, which then can work to transform the game, or at least change the rules of the game a little bit. But that starts with you and I. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, no, I think it's a perfectly valid point because it is difficult to watch many of maneuvers that have been made and think of it as that is a master in action right there, right? I
Yeah.
mean, but yeah, there you go. It just shows that maybe we do need to try to reserve judgment, I suppose, to a degree because
Yes.
as Yeshua or as Jesus himself said, I can use these flawed people to create something that is yeah, but the flaws are very evident. There's no doubt about that.
One more thing I wanted to say was I think our colleague and our angel Rua had it best. And she's like she said, I'm not against him, but
Mm.
I'm for what's best. I'm for something better. I'm for mankind, and that's kind of how I see it. Like I'm not against him. I don't want to put that negativity on it because that's what it loves and it will grow. But what I want to do is focus somewhere else where there is life and creativity and light.
Uh-huh.
And that way that can maybe, I don't know, integrate better the negativity to where it's
Yes.
not so chaotic.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Jolé. Let us move on to the next section.
The visions didn't stop there. Jesus showed me a growing number of Jewish people, rabbis, IDF soldiers, mothers, teenagers, seeing him in dreams, beginning to question what they'd always believed. The veil is lifting, he said, slowly, painfully, but surely. I saw people crying out, wrestling with truth, some rejecting what they saw, others stepping into a light they never thought they'd accept. But won't that cause chaos? I asked. He looked at me with such gentle authority and said, New life always begins with pain. What matters is what comes next. Then he looked at me, and his face grew more serious. Miriam, he said, you've been chosen to witness this and to tell others. I felt my heart sink. But I'm just a teacher, I said. I'm nobody important. Who's going to believe me? He stepped closer, placed his hand over my heart, and I felt a warmth rush through my entire being, like every wound, every doubt, every failure had just been washed away. You are mine, he said. That's all that matters. Your voice will reach the ones who are ready to hear it. Then he showed me my daughter, the baby I hadn't even held yet. She was healthy, crying in the arms of a nurse. David stood nearby, his face torn between fear and love. I watched them, and my chest ached with longing. I didn't want to leave this place, but I knew I had to. There's one more thing, Jesus said, and it's the most important part. The vision shifted again. I saw religious leaders, rabbis, priests, pastors, imams, sitting in a circle, not arguing, but actually listening to each other. It was a peaceful scene, almost unbelievable. This is coming too, he told me. A time when my people will stop fighting over who owns me and start living as I taught. I was speechless. He continued, the walls between religions will begin to crumble. Not because they are destroyed, but because they are no longer needed. Love will do what tradition could not. I shook my head. That seems impossible. And he smiled. With man it is, but with God all things are possible. That's when he showed me the Temple Mount, and there, right in the heart of Jerusalem, stood a new temple. But it wasn't like anything I expected. It wasn't a place of blood or division. It was open, filled with light, and people of every background, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, stood there, praying together. This will be the third temple, Jesus said, not for sacrifice, but for unity, a house of prayer for all nations. I was stunned. But how? With everything that's there now, the dome, the conflict, and he simply said, There will be a solution no one has thought of yet. It will be my doing, not man's. I didn't understand it all, but something deep inside me knew it would happen, because I had seen it. The final vision he gave me was unlike anything I could have imagined. I saw the world shaking, literally and spiritually. There were natural disasters, floods, fires, and political turmoil across nations. But I also saw breakthroughs, new technologies coming out of Israel that would change how we survive in a warming world, discoveries in Jerusalem that would challenge the foundations of all three Abrahamic faiths. Jesus explained, "The world is entering birth pains. What feels like destruction is really preparation. What's coming will not be easy, but it is necessary." I asked him when this would all happen, and he said, "Some of it has already begun, but by 2030, nothing will be the same."
So, the veil is lifting, said Jesus, and absolutely we can understand how this causes confusion and pain to many, as the version of reality that they've held dear for their lifetime crumbles before their eyes. The comfort zone is no longer an option, but as I like to say, life begins where the comfort zone ends, and this obsession with safety, avoiding change in a world where change is constant, has made us easier to control by the puppet masters. But that is rapidly becoming history, and that is not to be feared. The idea that religious leaders come together in unity is a fantastic vision, and this aligns with a psychic medium reading that I had back in April 2022. Alan told me that he could hear someone singing New Religion and held a strong vision of all religions coming together in a big stadium in America. An encouragingly elevated planet was involved in that connection. Alan was confused as to why he saw that because he knew very little about elevated planet, but he saw us as the connectors in this joyful union. This is all so much bigger than any of us, but anything we can do to help bring people to that place of peace, joy, unity makes it all worthwhile. When any of us are open to surrender ourselves to divine energy, we are opening up a portal that allows us to transcend the limitations we've been encouraged to adopt for thousands of years. And Jesus also said, by 2030, nothing will be the same. And we know, interestingly enough, that by the 21st of December 2030, the window closes on the old 13,000-year cycle, and by the 22nd of December 2030, we are fully into the new cycle as per the Mayan calendar. Of course, this was all about the end times, as in the end of one era and the beginning of the next, and that is exactly what we are looking at here. I believe the new era represents the age of Aquarius, of unity consciousness, of new earth, and a world of unspeakable beauty. It may still be a work in progress at that stage, but much to look forward to.
Then his eyes locked onto mine. "There's something you need to warn them about." His tone shifted, still loving, but urgent. "The greatest danger to humanity isn't climate change, or war, or even poverty. It's spiritual blindness. People think they're serving God, but they're only serving their own power and fear. They've wrapped my name in politics, hatred, and pride, and then wonder why they don't feel me." I felt the weight of his words pressing on my soul. "But they won't believe me," I said. "They'll say I'm crazy. Religious leaders will twist it, and people will fight over it." He gently nodded. "Yes, they will. But truth always divides before it unites. And those who are ready to hear will." He showed me faces, dozens of them. People who had come across my story, some by accident, some in desperate search. He showed me a young rabbi in Tel Aviv, a Christian woman in Alabama, a Muslim student in France, a girl who called herself an atheist but wept when she heard his name. "They'll hear your words and remember me," Jesus said. "This isn't about proving anyone right or wrong. It's about waking up hearts." I wanted to stay. The love I felt in that place, I've never experienced anything like it on earth. Please let me stay, I whispered. Let me stay with you. He looked at me, full of that same compassion, and said, Heaven is your home, but your mission isn't finished. I didn't feel myself move. I was just suddenly being pulled, fast, painfully, back through that veil. The silence turned into sound again. The light turned into chaos. I gasped for air as my body returned to life, and I could hear machines beeping, people shouting, She's back! I later learned I had been dead for 9 minutes. No heartbeat, no brain activity. The doctors called it a miracle they couldn't explain. And as they brought my baby girl to me, warm and crying in my arms, I wept. We named her Eden, because that's what I saw. That's what I left behind. If you've made it this far, please don't scroll away. This story isn't just mine, it's for you. Whether you're Jewish, Christian, Muslim, or don't know what you believe, I want you to know something. Jesus loves you. He hasn't forgotten you. And He's coming not to divide us, but to wake us up. If this testimony touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. And remember, watch Israel, watch the world, because what's coming will shock us all.
Her words are truly inspiring, because if we look at it historically and we critically think and go back, we can see that when man first came on earth, when humanity was given this blessing of Mother Earth, there was no such thing as religion. Religion was what was around you, Mother Earth. I mean, how do we know that? I mean, there's been archaeological digs that have shown that through man evolving, there has become religion. And through man realizing that he can harvest humanity for energy and money, then these religions really started to take hold. But as history is like a wheel and it continues to turn, we've entered another period of enlightenment where we're waking up and realizing that focusing on what divides us is what has gotten us here. And what is going to bring us back to our wholeness is realizing that we are all interconnected and that we all have things that are similar. If you look at the big three religions, as I like to call them, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, you'll notice that pretty much when you boil it down to its dregs, it's all the same. Love your neighbor, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, love God. You know, all of the things that it's just basically telling you to be a decent human being and build character. And at the end of the day, if organized religion is helping you build character and morality, then bravo, it's good. But at this point, the timeline is shifting to where that is sort of like spirituality 101, and we're moving into a place where it's now time to transcend the rules because we have mastery over them now. So it's time to go back to the days where we're able to bend spoons, we're able to heal each other, you know, we're able to take some soil and move it into something that can grow if it wasn't able to. I mean, we do have that technology now, but back in the day, people just put their hands on things. And so opening up your mind and your heart to understanding how powerful you are, because you are a channel of divinity, what they call frequency, vibration, or energy. And before, that had been taken away from us because the middleman came in and was guiding us and telling us what to do. But now we're at the precipice where the middleman has taken us to the edge of the cliff, right? So either we turn around and we go back towards unspeakable beauty, or else we go off the cliff and into a completely different experience in existence. Either one of those, we have the choice to do. But I choose to turn around and go back to unspeakable beauty. So what that means is we're undoing some of the damage that has been done. We're taking responsibility for the choices we have made. We're no longer choosing to see ourselves as victims, and we are calling out some of this mind control programming and conditioning that has gotten us here. So it is definitely a two-way street, but the responsibility that we have today is to take hold of our own power and our own energy so we can turn around and pivot back to and remember who we truly are, versus falling off the cliff and having to do this all over again. I mean, there's so many beings of light out here who are shining the truth on their experiences of between life and death and that place. And a lot of them are speaking in a consistent pattern of what they have experienced. And so that's giving us a glimpse as to what's truly there, the light, the joy, the beauty, the interconnectedness. She was like, when I got out of my body, I didn't feel anything. I was completely neutral. And I didn't want to go back. But this is the thing. We've created this world that we don't want to come back to. So let's now step into the energy of recreating what we like to call a place of unspeakable beauty. That begins within each one of us individually, so that then we can affect change within our environment. And like I always like to say, John, we began this journey of if you build it, they will come. So this is our little, moment or place, community of unspeakable beauty. And hopefully this is one of the planks on the bridge that gets us there.
Yeah, well said. Well said. It brought to mind a couple of things there. I remember, as George W. Bush once said, purportedly, yesterday we stood on the edge of a cliff, but today we've taken a giant step forward. The other one is like this idea of bringing out our inner Uri Geller, spoonbender extraordinaire.
Yes. I mean, it's possible. I even have a friend who was able to do that. And I was like, how did you do it? And she was like, I just was in a moment of pure bliss and pure joy. And I was just remembering that moment. And then I started to feel it. And as I started to feel it, the spoon began to bend.
It's amazing.
And I was like, really? So yeah, fascinating.
Yeah. It is fascinating, and we are going to be endowed with so many new gifts for the future,
yes.
That's for sure. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, well, so anyway, on to this next section. Those that have followed Elevated Planet will know we are big supporters of the work done by Drunvalo Melchizedek. For decades, he has worked with the indigenous tribes around the world, both to repair the planet's unity consciousness grid, yes, it really has one, as well as assisting the Earth's Kundalini energy in moving from its previous home in the Himalayas to the Andes. It's amazing to think that so many indigenous folks understand so much that has been forgotten by the westernized world. I believe our return to ancient wisdom is underway, guided by people like Drunvalo, who, as a Melchizedek, is here to assist in the planetary ascension process at a level beyond that we as humanity can achieve on our own. Drunvalo's guide and teacher is Thoth the Atlantean, who you will know from our past recent shows is the architect of Gaia's ascension plan to the new Earth. So this all aligns beautifully. Drunvalo's first books, The Ancient Secret to the Flower of Life, Volumes 1 and 2, came from teachings that took place between 1985 and 1994. So, wind the clock forward 31 years and Volume 3 has been written by a now 84-year-old Drunvalo, with Volume 4 to follow close behind. Both volumes packed with transformative information for humanity. Volume 3 will be available towards the end of 2025, once edited and translated into multiple languages. You will also be aware that I took Drunvalo's amazing Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop in 2024 under the tutelage of the wonderful Viola Rose, who we have also featured on Elevated Planet. Viola is one of just 100 accredited teachers sharing Drunvalo's work around the world. One of the culminations of the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop is to learn how to access our own Merkaba light vehicle that forms around our body under the right influences and from the sacred space that exists within the heart. I learned so much, and if anyone would like to explore further, see the comments below to find a link to Viola so you can explore directly. So anytime I see new information coming from Drunvalo, I always sit up and take notice. Viola contacted me to say she'd met with Drunvalo recently and had posted an interview on her YouTube channel. So with deep gratitude to Viola, this brief extract comes from that discussion, and to follow it directly we have the Galactic Federation, who shared information this week which in many ways is synchronistically consistent with what Drunvalo has to say, as well as the NDE story that we have all just witnessed. So here we go.
What's happening all around the world is something that is it's just fantastic. Mother Earth and Father Sun are doing things that we have never seen ever. Our sun is doing things and it's a flash star. A flash star means that when it gets to a certain level of existence, it flashes. And when it flashes, it is extraordinary. The sun shoots this white light at the earth and surrounds the earth with white light 1 billion times brighter than our sun. But it's not going to be, because he's decided to do it in a new way. It's very complicated how it could even happen. It's absolutely incredible that we're all alive here right now. What is about to happen on the earth, when you understand it, Mother Earth and Father Sun is going to give every person on earth something brand new that has never been here. We're talking about Merkabas, but these Merkabas are uniquely different and can do things. They can go anywhere in the universe and instantly, just tick, and you're all the way on the other side of the universe.
Greetings, dear star seeds and light workers of Earth. We speak to you from the stars as heralds of a grand transformation unfolding on your world. A great shift has begun, one that penetrates to the very core of your being. A crystalline recoding of your DNA and consciousness that changes everything. In this moment, Earth's energy matrix is being completely rewired by intense cosmic and solar forces. Your sun, responding to higher galactic transmissions, is erupting with waves of light and plasma that bathe your planet in new frequencies. Even the heartbeat of Gaia is quickening in response, as the planet's own energy resonates with this cosmic influx. These solar emanations are not random. They are activating ancient codes in Earth's grids and in your very cells. Long dormant energy pathways, ley lines, vortex points, and sacred geometries embedded in the planet are lighting up again, forming a radiant 5D lattice of light around Earth. This emerging network is designed to anchor a higher dimensional architecture on your plane, preparing the stage for humanity's next evolutionary leap. You have entered a time that many prophecies have spoken of, a turning point where cosmic light reconfigures the very game board of existence. All aspects of life are being touched by this impetus to evolve. The old energetic order is giving way to a higher resonance that beckons all life on Earth to ascend in vibration. What is unfolding now is nothing less than an initiation on a planetary scale, catalyzing changes from the subatomic levels of your DNA to the collective destiny of humankind. With your DNA activating and your heart leading the way, a new horizon of human potential is coming into view. The gifts of the Spirit that have long been whispered of in myth and legend are going to become increasingly commonplace. What once might have been considered miraculous or supernatural will simply be recognized as natural attributes of the awakened human being. As more individuals awaken these gifts and live from the heart, the very fabric of your shared reality will change. Society will gradually reorganize itself to reflect higher values of compassion, transparency, and oneness. Imagine communities guided by collective heart wisdom, technologies powered by clean, free energy that operate in harmony with nature's rhythms, an education that nurtures psychic and spiritual development alongside intellectual knowledge. As humanity's relationship with Mother Earth heals, you will develop ways of living that replenish the environment instead of harming it, recognizing the consciousness in all living things. The New Earth blueprint is already imprinted in the ethers, and as each of you aligns with it internally, you collectively bring it into manifestation. Each time one of you chooses love over fear, authenticity over illusion, unity over division, the new paradigm gains a stronger foothold in the physical world. The changes within you are the seeds of a civilization transformed.
And we're back. So it's an incredible time to be here on the planet. I say that pretty much every time we do a show, but it just boggles my mind what we're truly capable of. You know, you get programmed and conditioned through life, from your parents because they kind of grew up in the same system through the education system. And we're programmed to believe we're so limited. The reality is that we are limitless, but we've forgotten, right? Again, it comes back to that little picture that I had sent to me, which said that, we are actually limitless beings who've been taught limitations. So now we start to unravel that and get back to our natural way of being, which is all about, things like telepathy, right? Spoon bending. We can all go, there's not going to be a straight spoon in the universe. So we're going to be able to do all these things and so much more. And this idea of the Merkaba lightship that Drunvalo talks about as well, again, that illuminating the Sacred Heart workshop really was building all to that. And again, for anybody that's curious, check out violarose.com, check out her YouTube channel. She is an excellent facilitator of Drunvalo's work, and there are not many of them out there in the world. And she's geographically close to Drunvalo as well, out there Sedona way in Arizona. So yeah, Viola's a great resource for us to have as well on Elevated Planet. So thank you, Viola. And just going back to Drunvalo, Drunvalo Melchizedek, if you go back to around 1970, his name was Bernard. I can't remember his surname now, but he became a walk-in soul exchange in about 1971, I think it was, if not 1972. And that was when it was a pre-agreed soul exchange, because a walk-in is always a pre-agreed. There's no idea of possession. But the consciousness that came in as Drunvalo was here as a Melchizedek consciousness, which is all about bringing to Earth a level of knowledge that could not be, or abilities that could not be enacted by humanity on their own. So he was here to work with the indigenous tribes around the world to rebuild that unity consciousness grid, to move the Earth's Kundalini energy, working again with and it was incredible because they were all these different tribes and indigenous folks around the world, all working simultaneously, meditating simultaneously to move this thing, this energy that sits beneath the surface of the Earth and is now in the Andes. And it's interesting actually because we know that the Himalayas and Nepal and areas like that have been places of great religious leaders of the past in terms of Buddhism and many other things. But the reality is that has now, that will remain, but also it will switch to become more in the Andes. The future spiritual leaders, I think, are going to come from that part of the world. So yeah, because it's all aligned with that Earth's Kundalini energy. It's quite an amazing thing when we kind of try and take this all in. But this is all about living from the heart. That is the message, whether you're talking about from Jesus, whether it's from Drunvalo, whether it's from our Galactic Federation, and it's very much about waking up the heart so that we can, everything is changing for the better. And once we realize how powerful, how magnificently powerful we really are, then that's the point where, we really express our consciousness in a way which is very high frequency, and we come together into that collective consciousness, which is where our world of unspeakable beauty comes from, because we all then realize we have the power to do this, and collectively we have an enormous power because it's that squared power. Every 100 people who get together with that like-minded approach creates the energy of 10,000. So that's where we're heading. So Jolé, can I bring you back in, please?
Absolutely. Here I am. I'm just really grateful for the show. My heart was opened throughout a lot of it. I really felt emotional, under, you know, I guess feeling what you're talking about, the limitlessness. I wish it were more consistent, but it's more like a lighthouse, right? It comes around, you feel it, you get in alignment with it, and then all of a sudden, where did it go? And then it comes. So I wish it could, for me, that's the unspeakable beauty. That's the path to it, the journey, is getting out of the way of allowing limitless to do its thing. Like you had last week at our show, a thing about it's not that abundance is away from you, it's you blocking it. It's your blocks to it. It's
Yeah.
all around you. So I really felt that this show, that I am my own worst enemy when it comes to these things. Really dissolving and resolving some of this stuff is just like this. I don't want it anymore. That's it. It's gone. And moving on into something new. And that's what the limitlessness is. It's constant change, consistent change, positive change. But that programming that we talked about that our parents had, it comes from something nefarious. And we need to call it out in ourselves, not necessarily in others. Let's let others do what they do, because free will is real. So call it out in yourself, because the more that you shine the light, right? We talked about the lighthouse. Baby, that's why that part is dark. You don't want to honor. I don't want to honor it. I don't want to bring it out, because if that's shame, guilt, we've got to stop caring what people think.
Yes.
And we really have to sit in our purpose and our power, whatever that looks like. And that was my takeaway.
Yeah. That's beautifully said. And I think as well, it's just realizing that we have to be gentle with ourselves along the way here as well, because this
Absolutely.
programming and conditioning has gone on for many decades. And all of a sudden, once the penny drops and you suddenly realize, whether it's today, whether it was last week, whether it's in a few weeks' time or a few months or years' time, once that drop, it is a journey to stop all this, to stop ourselves from blocking ourselves, because that's what we've been taught to do. We've been taught, and that's where the teachings that you give us, Jolé, the guided meditations and the wisdom that comes through as well. I'm eternally grateful for, having met you back in early 2020 to where we are today, some 5.5 years on almost. I have learned so much through you, but again, our connection was not an error, right? That was not a coincidence. It was a synchronicity.
It was not.
Right.
I mean, it was definitely in the cards. And then you start to unravel that and you realize that, like, things are on top of each other, intertwined. Like, past lives is really exist, even though you may not know. There's this string you cannot deny is running through things, and that is consistently creating these, I guess, integrations or connections that are moving something forward. So I don't know. I'm ready to just really, I don't want to say get out of my own way, but how do you say it? Embrace it, flow with it, surf on it, ride with it.
Yeah. And I'd say another thing that excites me about this as well is that so many of the connections that we have within our elevated planet community now, again, there are no mistakes here. This is not a coincidence. They're here because we probably worked before in over thousands of years. Who knows, right? But, people will be stepping into that power. We'll be working together. We'll be creating this collective consciousness energy and working with each other to make this magic happen. And what is magic? It's the ability to manipulate energy to a specific desired outcome. And we have that ability, but it's realizing it.
Yes. And also doing something with it. I know for me, I avoid my power often because that means I have to take responsibility, right? Not just for myself, but for the way, I'm showing up, maybe even other people, because if you're a leader and you're maybe a person who is receiving messages, it is kind of your job to give them out. And avoiding that is out of alignment. So it's like, even the show is like, you've got more work to do, And so even though we're here and we think, oh, we're healing and we know about our chakras, we know about this, it is constantly a journey of expansion in this body.
Yes, it is. And that's part of the joy of it, really, knowing that we will never stop learning, right? I've been studying this now for 7 years, more than 7 years now, I'm pleased to say. And I've learned so much, and I know that I've learned that much of a massive, this much that is to be known, right? And
Yeah.
I find that really exciting because I love life now, having
Yes.
hit the big 65 today. Um,
Yes.
it's all
Rats.
it's all good because every year gets actually more exciting and more fun than the previous one. And I know that's the way it continues.
Yeah.
So, I know many people will be looking at it and think, okay, well, is that truth or deluded nonsense? Well, you're going to make your own mind up on that.
You're going to have to, right? But the fact that you made it to 65 in the body is such a blessing. And the older we get, it's like it's amazing how they say youth is wasted on the young, right? Because the more maturity you gain, it's like the more you can kind of do that expanding, the rigidness of life, the programming begins to kind of dissolve a little bit. But one of the things I wanted to add before we move on is that my friend who bent the spoon, she brought me the spoon and she showed it to me the day after because we were in Clear Sight together, which was my clairvoyant training school. So she had gone off with someone and had done this at a party. And she told me that the person who was teaching them how to do this, because it was a group, told them to go back to their childhood.
Wow.
Yes, and to do that. And so that's what I mean by she went back to this time in her childhood and she just kept kind of massaging the spoon, she told me. And she wasn't looking at it. She wasn't paying any attention to it. She was just massaging it while she was having that experience all over again. And through that, it was as if the molecules or the cells just began to meld to her trying to bend this spoon. Incredible.
Wow. Wow. So here's the challenge then for the Elevated Planet community. I want by this time next week for there not to be a straight spoon in anybody's cutlery drawer at all. Send us the pictures, contact us through elevatedplanet.life. And unfortunately, we don't do replacements. We just enable you to then massage them back into shape again, maybe.
That's but it's possible. I've never seen it in real time and live, but I saw the result of it because she brought the spoon and I was just fascinated. So it's possible.
I think it's doable. I can imagine how it's doable. And because everything is energy, right? And it is manipulation of energy. And it is, doing it to prove a point. And once you've proved that point, you then start to realize, yes, we are that powerful. Yes, we can do all these miraculous things. And that's what Jesus said, all these things and more will you do, when he was talking about the miracles that he'd done. And that's because this time we are into now, this is when we're going to be tapping into our Christ consciousness. You can choose to activate it whenever you like. It's there for you. It exists within everybody. This is the second coming. The second coming is us. And I don't just mean Elevated Planet. I mean everybody.
Exactly. Really getting into heart coherence, that is really what's going to bring us to that, is understanding and coming from a place of, if nothing else, neutrality, but unconditional love or love.
Exciting times, Jolé. Exciting times. So I'm going to suggest now that we crack on to the guided meditation visualization by Jolé Gabrielle, which is a real highlight for many of us. So I think with that, we're going to go to the last little section here that comes from Riva, our Pleiadian friend, who is also a member of the Galactic Federation of Light, to lead us into that with some information about the power of collective consciousness. And then, Jolé, you will be working your magic, not bending spoons this time, but, be manipulating minds into this beautiful place that we all want to be, living from the heart.
Yes, it's an honor.
Thank you. Okay, bear with me, everybody. Here we go.
Understand that this evolution is a collective endeavor as much as it is an individual one. Humanity is undergoing a synchronized awakening of the heart. Each time you open your heart and embody more light, you are not just healing and uplifting yourself. You are contributing to a resonant field that embraces all beings. There is a growing lattice of light that links the hearts of awakened souls across the planet. This heart grid is strengthening by the day, solidifying a new collective consciousness that transcends old divisions of race, religion, and nationality. It is through this unified field of heart-centered awareness that the true second coming of light arrives, not as a single savior descending from the sky, but as the awakening of the Christed light within many, moving together as one. Many prophecies throughout the ages have pointed to this period, an era of peace and illumination when humanity would live as a unified rainbow tribe. Know that as you each do your inner work, you are bringing those prophecies into form. As the collective heartbeat grows louder and more coherent, it generates an unshakable field that will harmonize and heal the remaining discord from the old world. This is the dawn of a new era that you, and many ancient seers and indigenous prophecies, have long anticipated, an era when humans remember their divine origin and step into their roles as conscious co-creators. We speak to you with both excitement and reverence because we see the larger picture, and we assure you that you are succeeding. Despite the turmoil and birth pains of this transition, the trajectory is set. Humanity is awakening from its slumber and rising into the light of a new day. Our message to you is one of encouragement and empowerment. Trust the process that is unfolding within and around you. Trust yourself, your inner guidance, your heart's wisdom, and your body's intelligence. You carry within you all the knowledge needed for this journey, encoded in your very cells and spirit.
Put your feet flat on the floor. Your palms face up on your thighs. Bring your awareness to your chest and just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take the time to slow down your heart rate. You are safe and you are divinely protected. So as you breathe in the energy of life and you breathe out any limits, any blocks, become aware of your grounding cord, or between your sit bones is your first chakra. So from a heart-centered space, stay there and stay breathing the rhythm of your body. Generate, visualize, and imagine a grounding cord of a natural earth element, one that represents an energy that you want to embody. It can be a tree trunk for more groundedness, or a rope for that. It could be a ton of water to have more control over your emotions. Or is it a quartz crystal so that you can remain connected, receiving the messages from Mother Earth and all her nutrients? Is it fire for more action, more motivation in your life? Or a chain link for more discipline? But whatever it is, create this grounding cord and lock in, root yourself into Mother Earth, and just allow for all of her nutrients and her vitamins and her minerals to just absorb within your grounding cord as those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles appear and begin to just clean, reinvigorate this grounding cord, letting go of anything that no longer serves you and bringing in the things that light you up, motivate you. Make it 6 inches in diameter. And while this is taking place and your grounding cord and Mother Earth are in communication with one another, Command your aura layer to be 1.5 feet around you. Snap in that astral body and call your higher self to be at the power position above your crown. And as you bring your awareness back to your chest, you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Visualize the bottoms of your feet opening like the lens of a camera. And call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. Blue-green energy for healing, maybe red or yellow for more life force and energy, orange for more creativity, purple for more connection to that divine through the experiences of Mother Earth. Whatever it may be, call that beautiful energy, allow it, see it pool in your feet, and start to travel up the side channels of your legs. Bring your awareness back to your heart. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then command for your crown. Visualize it opening like the lens of the camera. And automatically, Source knows, oh my goodness, there it is. And this beautiful golden cosmic life force energy begins to cascade down from the heavens right into your crown, raining down on that higher self. It focuses, comes down through that aura layer into that crown and begins to just saturate your brain with positive life force energy, moving out any dis-ease, any illness, recalibrating that DNA for life. Reaching back and getting all the positive ancestral knowledge, waking up those cells, decalcifying that pineal gland, moving out the worry, doubt, and fear in the prefrontal cortex and the animal nature of the limbic system, among many other things. Get into those folds, watch that gold light, reprogram those neurotransmitters for your highest good, dissolving the synapses that no longer serve. This is your brain. Take back your power. Command your brain to think in a strategic way to magnetize to you the most loving good possible for you in this lifetime. So take a moment and tell your brain to get it together. Blasting through any MK Ultra programming, Project Artichoke, any of these government programs, any type of universal being that is interfering with your energy is no longer. All contracts, vows, agreements that maybe even your ancestors made, today they are resolved and dissolved on a history level. They are canceled, pulled, deleted on a soul, core, genetic level, sent to the Creator's light, and replaced with unconditional love for others and self and unconditional forgiveness. This is who you are. Breathe with the rhythm of your body and allow your nervous system to know that it is safe to be the new you. As that cosmic energy then begins to travel down the spine, lighting up each vertebrae on its way down, cleaning out that throat chakra, that heart chakra, that solar plexus chakra, that bright cosmic light, dissolving dis-ease, illness on a spiritual, emotional, mental, physical level as it moves down past your stomach and it meets that beautiful earth energy in the first chakra, and it just mixes in and it begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup. And it feels so good. This energy is flowing through your body, removing any disease, any illness, any pain as it moves up into your hips, coming up into the colon, reproductive organs, the intestines, the large intestines. And it's just working through any issues, any problems, any stress, any pain as it moves up into the heart. And you welcome this energy. Moving up, 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 it bifurcates, separates, it goes down the shoulders into the hands, powering up those hand chakras of healing, bringing in so much creativity and light, but also reality, the truth, as it then begins to go back up and sprout out the side channel of the crown, as it begins to sprout out of the hand chakras, the feet, and it starts to fill up that aura layer, and all of the labels and the judgments that everyone has given you and told you who you are and what you are to do is dissolving. Watch it, see it dissolve. That essence, that beautiful essence of the gold light, 85%, mixed in with that 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. What does that combination of colors look like as it moves through your aura layers? It's bright and it's beautiful and it's smooth as it goes from the first layer to the second and all the way through each layer of your aura, helping you remember that you are limitless. And as this essence begins to move through that beautiful bubble that is you, your nervous system's like, and it begins to push out and expand your spiritual nervous system out into your aura layer. And this beautiful electricity of love is just lighting you up, magnetizing in your vision of you at your zenith, at your highest, at your most loving. And as you sit with this vision, earth energy and cosmic source, golden, supports you, loves you, knows that you are worthy and deserving. So allow for that beautiful, limitless energy to just flow through you as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, knowing that you are a being of divinity, a powerful being who has the permission to influence your environment in a positive way. Before you can create the life of your dreams, you have to see it. Sit in that. What is your dream for yourself? What does it look like when you're aligned with your purpose? When you love you, what does it feel like inside of your body? Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You are safe. It is safe for you to have and to align with your purpose. It is safe for you to receive blessings from the universe. It is safe for you to let go of the judgments and the criticisms and the labels. It is safe for you to step into this new you, the energy that is aligned with your purpose, the you that is living your dreams in real time. So just sit there and allow it in. Feel what it feels like to live your dream, and then to share that with others. In the most loving and best way. So just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow down your heart. Let it beat at the pace of love and joy. and let your nervous system know you are safe. It is safe for me. It is safe for us to move into unspeakable beauty. It is safe for us to move into that dream, which is now reality. Your chakras are being clean and cleared by this essence of Mother Earth, 15%, and of the 85% cosmic gold. I'm just going to gently remind you while you hold that vision and you feel those feelings of living your dream in real time, living the life that you were meant to live, that is aligned with your purpose. As you let go of all of the limitations that you may have created for yourself, that your environment may have created for you, your genetic coding, you are no longer tied. You are now a being of limitlessness. So dissolve into the space, into the ether that is you. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body and you see your dream unfold, and you take that walk across that bridge to unspeakable beauty, enlightenment, and collective joy. Share the joy. That's why we open our heart. Open the double doors of your heart if you haven't, and allow for that love to pour out of you while you see yourself walking across that bridge. And now you're there. You're there in the place that you've dreamed of. It's real. Bring it in. Receive it. Let it be you. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, and that nervous system is just cracking and popping, and in a way that is unleashing magnets that are calling in and vibrating with the frequencies of your most loving good. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allow that love to pour out of you while that earth energy and that cosmic divine source life force that is golden moves through you. Hold the space for yourself to receive. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, your chakras are clean, clear, and being filled up with the essence of divinity and Mother Earth. You're recalibrated and restored. Your limitations have been dissolved. So now, your toroidal field is lit up, and all of the etchings of your positive good and you're on your journey to unspeakable beauty is now very clear to the universe. And as that pyramid spins above your toroidal field and that white light begins to beam down on you and expand out into Mother Earth and the universe, you are one with it all. We are one with it all. Feel the joy. Feel the unspeakable beauty that is you. as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, and know that you are safe. Now, take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. Exhale. And put a golden sun above your head. And in this golden sun, I want to be very specific. We want to put unspeakable beauty in it. We can write it on there and put limitlessness, personal power, and we are speaking truth to power. You can put that there too and allow for that golden sun to come down through your higher self. Your aura layer focuses itself down into that crown, and as it enters your body, it just extends and expands, and it just pops and crackles, and it's just, just filling you up with so much heat and energy and love, and aligning you with the frequency of divinity. As that energy then moves down through your spine, down the grounding cord, chasing those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles into the core of Mother Earth, bringing your grounding cord into the present moment, clean, clear, filled with gold light. It came straight down from that white light through the beautiful cosmic gold. That's how much the Creator loves you. Now let us love ourselves just as much. What does that feel like to love you the way the Creator loves you? And if your Creator is a vengeful one, maybe you might want to readjust that. And vibrate with the frequency and the energy of unconditional love and acceptance, abundance, joy, and unconditional love, which is what divinity has for us all. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. And visualize your feet chakras closing like the lens of a camera, and allow that earth energy to recede back down to Mother Earth. Slow your energy down as you take another deep breath in, and you exhale, and you visualize your hand chakras closing and the double doors of your heart gently closing and allowing for all that love to settle in around you. And make sure the back of you. And take another deep breath in. Hold it for a moment, and then exhale and visualize your crown closing like the lens of a camera, and only the gold cosmic life force energy ascends back into the heavens. But that white light stays beaming, and that toroidal field stays encompassing, and that pyramid stays spinning. And as you take another deep breath in and you exhale, you can open your eyes.
Beautiful. We're all unlimited beings now, right? So it's a powerful cleanse, getting rid of the old energies, all that, you could really feel that. So thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So, okay, I think it's time for wrap up now. And so I think that I just want to say a big thank you to the community. Back on YouTube for the first time in several months, and this is where we're likely to keep this going from here on. So YouTube, I think, will be accessible to more people than the Zoom links. So if you have any comments or thoughts, please don't hesitate to share them. through elevatedplanet.life/contact page, or email me, johndrew@elevatedplanet.life. The newsletter goes out tomorrow, so if you want to join the distribution list, you can use either of those resources as well to drop us a message and we'll add you to the list. Happy to have new members of our community all the time. So please, and as Jolé, what do we need to tell people to do?
Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. We are ready to ascend and move into unspeakable beauty. And so we need this to be shared.
Exactly. And the unfortunate thing from Jolé and I's perspective is that we're rubbish at social media. So
yes, we are.
So we need people to do it for us. We love doing the programs, we love doing the YouTube, and we will have people working with us, helping to align us with the social media channels as well. But that will help us overcome any limitations on our audience. So if you feel that you know people with whom this will resonate, please do share it. Please do share the love, share the joy. Yeah.
Because there's a lot here, to offer as far as personal development and moving into a place of self-love, which when we love ourselves, it gets easier to live amongst one another.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're gonna be working on the workshops, the programs, and everything for the future for Elevated Planets as well. Sort of like there's a few plans underway now, and so we will keep you informed on that as well. But other than that, Jolé, I think that's about it, right?
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. It's such an honor, and we're so grateful. So take care, and for you Americans, have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, and great. I don't know what we call it these days. It used to be called Whitsuntide holiday over here, but there is a holiday over here equivalent, and it's I don't know what day, what name we give it these days. But anyway, life is just a holiday anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, okay, thank you everybody, and we will see you in a week's time. Take care.
I think I'm upside down. Bye.
Goodbye, upside down, Jolé.